There's always bonds of trust that need to be built. And there have been examples of broken trust in the past that are going to need to get beyond.
With his government under siege, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sat down for a comfy armchair discussion at a mining conference in Toronto today, though the friendly fire taking aim at Trudeau in Ottawa is following the PM across the province.
There are opportunities to share a broad range of opinions, and tonight, we're talking about our real plan to tackle the environment.
A campaign-style climate rally last night at Toronto's Danforth Music Hall is marred by cringe-worthy moments. Protesters interrupting the Prime Minister, leaving his security detail and others on the defensive. During his 24 hours in Toronto, Trudeau did address Monday's resignation of Senior Cabinet Minister Jane Philpott, saying there are still more questions to answer, though the PM refused to take questions from journalists.
In a space where we value our diversity so strongly, we're allowed to have disagreements and debate. We even encourage it. This matter has generated an important discussion.
This morning, reporters were told due to space restrictions at Toronto's sprawling convention centre, they would not be allowed inside the room where the Prime Minister was set to speak to mining executives. That changed at the last minute, but not in time to allow many reporters to make the deadline for RCMP security screening. Instead, we had to watch the live stream from here.
Prime Minister, what are you discussing in your private meetings?
Trudeau also refused to take questions when he arrived back in Ottawa this afternoon, opting to return to the capital instead of attending a fundraiser in Regina, which ironically was to celebrate progress for women in politics. While the PM wasn't talking, one of his most senior cabinet ministers rallied to his defense this afternoon.
I have found him to be absolutely supportive. He is a feminist as a Prime Minister, and he's a feminist as a boss.
The resignation of 2 female cabinet ministers has introduced a gender angle to the current political crisis, harkening back to when a newly elected Trudeau was asked why his first cabinet was 50% female.
Because it's 2015.
This is a real learning opportunity for the entire country to see what equality commitment actually means.
Judith Taylor with U of T's Department of Sociology believes there's still an opportunity in front of the Prime Minister's office to change the narrative.
He needs to fully apologize and invite those 2 ministers back, and that is not typically what government does. And yet, if he wants to be a trailblazer and really make good on his father's legacy of care and concern about equality, that is the way forward.
Though there is still plenty of irony tailing the Prime Minister, back at the Toronto Mining Conference where Trudeau attended today, the PM couldn't distance himself from the scandal that began the current political crisis. The shuttle bus service for the conference has been sponsored by none other than SNC-Lavalin. I'm Adrian Ghobrial for City News.